The night groaned with cold. The garden lights flickered nervously. In their light, the falling snow was dead white before the darkness ate it up. I had heard the stories. The trio were mad dogs. They'd have hung the heads of their enemies over the manor gates if the capo had only let them. Punchinello wanted Payne. He'd see the pain.
Ah, man, you see that image of Max with the shadow? That is great. I love that. So Max says, the night groaned with cold. It's getting colder. It's also cold over here. My hands are freezing. Night groaned, I mean there's a sound from the night. The night is also a primordial deity. So Nacht, Nix, I forgot the other, not Nacht. Not is the Norse version. I was thinking of the German word. Ich bin Nacht. So it's Not, and then there's Nix. In night. It's groaning, it's in pain, it's in pain. The night is in pain. The darkness is in pain. The guy's called Max Payne. Get it? The darkness is behind him. It's a shadow, and it's bigger than him. He's been overwhelmed by his shadow. He's been controlled and possessed by his shadow. Let's continue with this one. The garden lights flickered nervously. The light is nervous. The night... oh my god, night and light. Who decided English? The garden lights are nervous. So the garden, Eden is a garden. Garden's also nature. Garden's a type of nature that's constructed, not chaotic. It's constructed. You know how like when you tend to a garden, it's different than a forest. There's an owner of the construction of the nature, and that is nervous. So there's a structure that's nervous because the night is also in pain. In their light, the falling snow was dead white before the darkness ate it up. The light has falling snow. Falling snow is death, depression, an oncoming apocalypse, and it was dead white. So there's death all around them, and it's visible, it's known, it's white. It's a good kind of death. Not really a good kind of death, but more like a how do you say, like a purifying kind of death. The death that comes to create rather than just to destroy. Like how bones have a structure and they're white. Before the darkness ate it up, so the darkness eats away this purifying death. So now Max is entering a unpurifying form. He's being taken over by a shadow because of this anger he has towards Punchinello, and he's becoming this angel of death. Or at least he talks about angels of death. He gets mirrored with it. He says, I've heard the stories. The trio were mad dogs. They'd have hung their heads of their enemies over the manor gates if the capo had only let them. So he's like, there's a trio here, the Norn, the three sisters of fate, but here's guys. They aren't sisters, they're guys. They're the Norns. Fate. They would hang heads over here if the police would only allow it. Like they would make sure that their manor was like this Vlad the Impaler kind of castle where you make sure that people don't want to go to your house because you're just so macabre and boisterous about it. Punchinello wanted pain. He'd see the pain. So Max is like, you want pain? You're gonna get pain. I'm gonna make you suffer. So now Max is entering this fallen state. He's becoming a fallen angel. He was very close, very, very close to being virtuous, very close to being this religious aspect of his own life. And then because he fell for the trick that the trickster brings to him, the fire in the restaurant, and now Max is pissed. Simple as that.
The trick in my situation was that there was no trick, no matter what the movies tell you. No rules, no secret mantra, no roadmap. It wasn't about how smart or how good you were. It was chaos and luck, and anyone who thought different was a fool. All you could do was to hang on madly, as long and as hard as you could.
Alright, this part's kind of weird because this is the only time that I can remember, maybe later on, but you see how the character in the stills is actually your character in the game? I didn't know if that was intentional or they just ran out of budget for pictures of the guy because the model is like an actual person, but then here they just used the Sam Lake face with the game model. Everything's all boxy and stuff. I don't know if that was intentional, but it does look funny. And it does feel like now Max is entering this fake version of himself, so it still kind of follows in with like a theme and a symbolism. He says the trick in my situation was that there was no trick, so he's like, I'm not going to do tricks anymore. I'm going to do just straight up, I'm coming in here to kill you. No rules, no secret mantra, no roadmap. He's like, I'm not going to follow any rules anymore. There are no more rules, no more paths to follow. I'm just gonna enter chaos. And he says it was chaos and luck. And anyone who thought different was a fool. The fool is the archetype who also acts as a jester, as a trickster. So he says it's a bit of like a false understanding of things. Because the fool is meant to be somebody who is uneducated, inexperienced, they're not aware of something. So he says it is chaos and luck. And if you don't believe that, then you're not experienced in the whole thing. So now Max is entering this state of chaos and luck. He's like, well, the only things that are going to control this situation are the Norns and chaos. So he's starting to fall into this fallen state. And he's like, it's not about how good or smart you are. So he's like, the wisdom has left us. You know, Odin has died. Wisdom has been taken over by savagery. Because when Odin dies in Ragnarok, Odin's killed by savagery. So wisdom does not survive when savagery is around. All you can do was to hang on madly as long and as hard as you could. So he's like, you just gotta do what you do. Hope that fate is going to be kind to you. So Max has lost his way right here. Even though it feels like he's more dedicated to the mission, he has lost his way. This is like the low point for the character.
Someone had graciously left the back door open for me and killed the guards. My money was on Mona. I knew the trio would be standing between me and Punchinello. I had read their rap sheets, thick as phone books. No one would be walking out of here alive.
That's pretty great though, I love that. So when he enters, he's like, somebody already killed a bunch of people. I think it's Mona. Mona was here already. And he says, I know the trio would be standing between me and Punchinello. So he's like, Fate, the Norns, the trio, would be standing between me and Loki, the devil. No one would be walking out of here alive, so he locks the door behind him. He's like, I'm not gonna let them leave. I'm not gonna leave either. This is to be settled right now. There's no going back.
The numbing cold of the broken night had followed me in.
That part's really interesting. The numbing cold of the broken night. So the night has been broken. The night groaned, and now the night is broken. So there is pain in the night and night in the pain. Does that make sense? They've become one and the same. So Max has become nighttime. He's become a more primordial deity of chaos and mystery. And also numbing cold. There is no feeling from this pain. It advanced beyond pain, or at least pain has been removed for this moment because of numbing. Numbing is an absence of pain. And I find that rather interesting. Because of this combination between night and pain, we enter numbing. So it's like, I can't feel anything right now. There's no pain, there's no past, there's no... he's actually probably forgot about his family dead, even. He's like, I'm just angry at this moment of here. This trickster god trying to blow me up in his restaurant. You know, a sacred place even. The Casa de Angelino. He's got spaghetti flying all over the place, and now he's angry about it.
Upstairs, the trio tangoed down the manor halls to the silent rhythm of their murderous hearts. The blood of their victims rust on their lips.
Oh, that painting.
Vince Mignano, Pilot Providence, a.k.a. Big Brother, and Joe Deadpan Salem. The pistol was a frozen lump in my hand, piercing the skin, gnawing me to the bone.
It was like a sewer rat gnawing at my boner.
In death, the thug had been promoted to messenger.
Chains everywhere, dead body here on the table.
Touch.
Someone hadn't enjoyed the Don's hospitality. Someone with a flair for the dramatic. Someone who had let herself out of a locked cell and past a couple of armed guards. My thoughts were on Mona again. I could only hope she was a good enough gambler to walk away while she was still winning, before she'd run into the trio.
So, Max is very sure that it's Mona. On the back, with a stake through the back, the dead body has a sign that says soon. So, I don't know who the message is for, but she's sending a message to somebody saying soon. Someone with a flair for the dramatic, someone who had let herself out of a locked cell and past a couple of armed guards. So it feels like Mona was captured, and then she just kills the guards and leaves. If only we could see that in action. That would have been great. And he says, I can only hope she was a good enough gambler to walk away while she was still winning. It's like, she is a gambler here. Now it's luck. Now it's about fate. Now it's about how likely the chances. Forces outside of your own abilities. So he's removed the personal, he's removed the individual from the situation. The individual is now at the mercy of things like luck and fate and probably destiny, if anything. So before she's run into the trio are the Norns are fate. So she would have to keep on gambling and hope that she wins before she runs into fate. So that's to make sense of the whole thing. I hope fate is forgiving. I'm still dying over here. Almost failed and died. This is a tense opening. Clear. You know, why do random drug guys have grenades? The guy with shotgun, oh no, he's coming! I don't know which one's good. Oh, I don't know which one to take. While you're over there, can you grab me a box of pecan sandies and chocodiles? I need it so people can see a cross-dressing alien act like a dog mom. Yep. What the hell? Phew! Time to buy a lottery ticket because he missed me twice at point-blank range. I don't even realize that happened until after I jumped. How did I not get shot by that? Holy crap, Lois. Remember that time I went to Don Puccinello's mansion? Drugs, drugs, the musical med. The more you eat, the more you dread.
Hey, someone get the guys from upstairs! No one's going any place.
No, facts don't care about your feelings. Unless they're feelings about my sister, then they're all good.
Pilot won't get the credit for this kill.
I love how stupid the minions are. Ooh, banana and the papaya. The despicable me minions are working for Puccinello. I mean, they worked for Hitler, didn't they? Gonna go kill by kill again, aren't I? Why are all these maps of Italy? This guy must have a foot fetish with how much he wants to see the boot. Wait a minute. Grapes do look like Italy. Conspiracy? Or I think not. Can't see Jack Diddley over here. No ammo, no. Painkillers, no nothing. Let me guess, grenade gonna fall down here? Oh. Well, that's pleasant. Jump through. Yo.
It didn't take me long to run into the trio.
You're gonna have a four-way with me. How these want me to look at? This?
The word on Lisa Puccinello was that she was a bit of a witch. The tarot cards on the kitchen table fit the picture. They weren't my kind of cards, but I was willing to take a crack at the hand Mrs. Puccinello had dealt. The first card was the tower. Maybe that was supposed to be the manor. It got easy after that. The devil was the master of the house, and death was me, coming for him.
So, for those of you who aren't familiar, I do know a little bit about tarot cards. And here, they're showing tarot cards. So I can make an easier explanation than he did. But before I try to explain this, I would like to know why he says Lisa was a witch, or a bit of a witch. And then she has tarot cards on the table. If Lisa is a witch, Mona is a femme fatale, and Max's wife is the mother, here we have a perfect trio to mirror the other trio, the trio of fate. So if the trio is like these three guys who are killers, then maybe they're just a way to express a trio of somewhere else, which is related to Lisa, Mona, and Max's wife. I don't remember her name. I think her name's Rose. Oh, Rose is his daughter, and then Michelle is the wife. So the daughter is meant to be like a baby that was killed, in a sense, and the wife is killed, so that's like the traditional way was killed. Mona comes in, so this femme fatale is now the aesthetically pleasing lifestyle. And then Lisa is hinted at here, we just kind of get introduced to her as this supposedly wise woman, this witch, this woman of supernatural and spiritual nature. And that is pretty much what Freya is. Freya was a Norse goddess, the wife of Odin. Her father was a sea god, so a sea god was like a concept where all the chaos of the sea was given a personification through a god, and this is like a masculine aspect of all the wrath that the sea has, like tornado, what's it called? Like hurricanes and maelstorms and stuff like that. But also the wisdom that we gain from the ocean, which is like travel and everything like that. So Freya is meant to be the goddess of love, beauty, fertility, sex, war, gold, and Seidr, which is magic for seers and influencing the future. So the Norns are below her. The Norns here are below the Puccinello family. That's why I'm thinking maybe the Norns are actually the trio of death. They're supposed to determine fates, and they're below Freya. And also Freya just means the lady. So when Norse people were talking about the lady, it's like she is the lady, you know, like how God is the father, or Jesus is the son, you know, not the sun like the thing up in the sky, it's like the sun, the thing below the father. And so to have her doing witchcraft, and witchcraft in this form of seeing the future, influencing the future in fact, it makes sense. So just another thing to remember, there are 3 types of Freyas. There was Freya, Frigga, and I forgot the third one. I think I said it before. I think the third one is a goddess named Fulla, possibly meaning bountiful. So she's a bit of a mystery. And I think that one's more like Mona, because in Norse mythology, Fulla, she does appear with Balder, and the deceased Balder expressly sends gifts to her from hell, and Fulla seems to have a meaning with fullness or fertility, so she can be the other half of somebody, but she does play a role in the Balder myth. And here Mona plays a role in the Balder myth of Max possibly being the killer when he wasn't. So whether it's Fulla or somebody else, that's the third one. The main takeaway is that there is a trinity, a holy trinity, that's attached to the women of the game. So that is Frigga, Freya, and then what's possibly someone named Fulla. Or I think there was another name. I don't remember if I said a different name before, but I'm trying to learn as I go along because Norse mythology is a little bit wacky. So here we have the tarot cards, the Tower, Death, and the Devil. In the game, they did make it a little bit more of a like a literal interpretation. The Tower is meant to be something else, actually. And that's why he says maybe that was supposed to be the manor. If we go by tarot cards, the Tower is one of the last cards. It's a 16th card. And if you take the progression of tarot cards from what is the Fool, 0, over to 21, meaning there's 22 cards total. So the 21 is the end, which is called the world. And the first one's the Magician. So it's supposed to be like a reveal, an understanding of knowledge brought to you. The beginning of a hero's journey usually begins with something like a wise man. And that is kind of why in the beginning of the game you have someone like Balder giving advice to Max and all that other stuff. So Balder was technically like the magician in the beginning, the very beginning of the game. That's why he's talking to Balder. Take that away and you remove the entire structure of the tarot card thing it's being attached to. So the Tower is more like in the beginning of the third part of the whole spiel of things. The Tower is meant to be something like Iser Corporation because it is quite literally a tower. It's a giant corporate building in New York City. And Tower is supposed to relate to the idea of making a structure, and then the structure is struck by lightning. Nature defeats the technology or the structure that humans create, and because it's related to the Tower of Babel. Babel was demolished because it was trying to make a human structure on the way towards heaven, and God's like, no, missed me with that gay shit. And then he just knocks it down with a bunch of lightning or earthquakes or whatever he did. And in the Tower card, you can see like a guy falling down. The guy is fine, but the tower is destroyed. So entire structure is demolished when the tower hit. This is in relation to a conspiracy theory being revealed that Max didn't know about. And so all of Max's world, his whole structure of his ideas gets demolished in this moment. And then there's death. Death is meant to be like a revival or renewal, a change caused by a death of one to have a birth of another. And so he's like, I'm death. But it's like, no, this is actually still related to the game, just there's going to be a death of something. And the death is the death of Max as how he is now. He's turned into a shadow. He's turned into a person who believes he is death, coming for the devil of the house. But after that, he changes once he actually gets his proper information. The devil card is, here he's saying that it's for the master of the house. So several times he said that Don Puccinello is the devil. Like, if you don't understand that he is meant to be the devil now, you haven't caught on at all. It's like before in Ragnarok, during Ragnarok, he says, yeah, that guy's the devil. Here he has a devil card showing him as a devil. So there's a big theme about the devil with Don Puccinello. Now the devil card in how we can see it here. The horns kind of make what do you call it? A makeshift kind of heart shape. And there are two people who are chained to this like altar that the devil's standing on. It's kind of hard to see in the game itself, but trust me, it's there. They did pretty accurate representation of the tarot cards. And so these two people who are chained to the devil's altar, this is Adam and Eve, or something that resembles them. It's a woman and a man, naked, chained to an altar. So they're chained to the devil, they're chained to this temptation, whether it's fate, whether it's like an evil fate or some kind of blindness that they have, like a weakness, because that's what happened when Adam and Eve ate the apple of knowledge. They were more or less chained to the devil afterwards because they became a servant to the devil with the apple of knowledge. I don't want to get too deep into that, but the devil has a lot more to do than just Don Puccinello is a dickhead. It has everything to do with Max himself, because now he has to go to the tower, he has a death occur, and then the devil is revealed. So he's going to have himself chained to something, and that's pretty much what happens with Max Payne 2. He gets chained to, well, right now he's chained to the death of his wife. Later on he gets chained to Mona Sachs. So he is kind of, in a way, you can say that Max gets possessed by the devil on his way to be a knight of faith. And in the first game, he does remove himself from that because Mona is gone. You'll see later on, but she kind of disappears. And then in the second game, they bring that all back. So it kind of defeats the purpose of the journey he had in the first game by having the second game included. So I don't know, maybe Sam Lake had help with this story, because this doesn't sound like Sam Lake when we see him later on. Like, all his stories later on are like more postmodernist than anything. I think somebody was trying to involve like a religious Jungian thing into this, and then Sam was like, yeah, that's great, but he didn't understand what was going on. So there's a Jungian guy in the Remedy studio who was working there, but then I guess they fired him for being too good or something. He quit. Oh, the refrigerator. Can't Max just drink some beer or something? I love the organ music.
Max pissed. The bladder is full, now I'm Max P. The colon is full, now I'm Max Poo.
That's just stupid. Hey, I broke the stereotype. He died last.
One down, two to go.
I love this like go-go music. Ding 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 ding. Like a Quentin Tarantino thing. Reminds me of House of the Dead Overkill. God, that game was fucking great. Is this an Italian thing where you hang a 3x4 segment of plates on your wall? Is that to catch the spaghetti when you're checking it if it's ready? Maybe to keep it away from those pesky Greeks. Always breaking shit with their opie. What's so important about opie anyway? They're just massive mouth-watering tits. Okay, this soundtrack makes me think of that episode of SpongeBob with the hall monitor.
The maniac's in the mansion!
Max's arms crash through the two ends of the house and he carries it away with him as he runs. I enjoy having to fight 2 floors of people, but this game always has someone behind you. What is this, a prison shower? Nobody's here. Oh god! Not gonna trick me again, you son of a bitch. One of those Asians was hiding in the trees. Must be a Vietnamese. Ah, beautiful piano. Sounds familiar, like it's from a game I played. Something like, Max... Oh, I know. Sam and Max, the dog and rabbit. Oh no! Trying to prepare myself, but looks like he forced me. Oh no, you don't. Please be some house there. Yes, there is. They got a little bar here for when they want to reenact their favorite episodes of Cheers. Oh, Jesus. Jesus! Look, he's a Cupid. I knew he wasn't a real statue because statues don't wear alligator shoes. The second guy's up here on the second floor. Third guy's probably on the third floor. That guy's running. They're in a room, so time to give them the old razzle-dazzle with one of these. Alright. How you like a taste of your own medicine, bitch? Oh, I think I got somebody. Let's find out. Nope. Holy crap, it's Scorch, with a getup and everything. No wonder PFG TV hasn't been on the air for a while. Welcome to PFG TV, where tonight's my co-host, the drummer from Boston, will get a half chub and play the drums for all of you tonight. Yeah. I got health but no hammers. No hammer. Let me guess, grenade launcher guy? Oh, you gotta use a knocker. Yep, that's a grenade launcher. I'd recognize that explosion from anywhere. Don't plus my toes. Oh, you did. Got Alex Jones. And I got that guy. Gotta scrounge the area for health. There it is. Grenade launchers in this game are like the Fat Boy in Fallout. You never want to use them, and enemies using them are utter bullshit. Oh, that was a bad idea. Oh no! That wasn't that bad. Look at this place. This is beautiful. Oh, look at that. I didn't even realize that. Let's pause. So the image we see here is, it's a Greek name I cannot pronounce. Centaurus. So it's like a centaur with a fish. And it's supposed to be a personification of foam and abyss, respectively. And it's actually really common to see a statue like that all over the place. But in German, it's called a sea devil. And also a marine demon, or a sea pan monster, monstrous sea stayer. And they've been used on badges and emblems and things of that nature. Coat of arms, stuff like that. So it's actually kind of common to see in Germany. And seeing it here in a bathhouse makes me think that now Max is entering the abyss and meeting the sea devil.
It was too late for her.
Oh my god, there's a dead body. Oh my god, there's a dead body.
You're a real angel, Max.
I couldn't tell whether it was Mona or her sister. The body was a mess. The sick bastard had really gotten a kick out of it. Seeing her lying there got me thinking about another woman's body on another bed. Got me thinking about a fallen cradle.
Yeah, this part's heart-wrenching. So, he hears in his mind Mona saying that he's a real angel, and he is standing over the corpse of a woman on a bed. Very similar to when he stood over the corpse of a woman on his bed in his house because that woman was his wife. And he says, I couldn't tell whether it was Mona or her sister. The body was a mess. Sick bastard really got a kick out of it. The body's a mess, but in the picture it looks pretty clean. You know? I don't even see a blood drop or anything. No bruise on the lip or anything. God, I love the way that the lamp behind him was like fallen, but then he says, seeing her lying there got me thinking about another woman's body on another bed. Got me thinking about a fallen cradle, and then baby music starts playing. And that's just reminding him of when his wife died. So his wife died. Lisa dies. And in Norse mythology, we have I can't remember if this is correct, but I believe either Freya or Frigg died 3 times. If not, it was Odin who died 3 times. I don't know where I read it. I cannot find it again. I tried so hard to look for it. But there were 3 deaths involved with a lady in Norse mythology. And I believe that this was the thing. This was going to be the thing that connects Mona and Lisa and Michelle. Because these are 3 women that died. However, in Norse mythology, there's also 3 kind of like fate deities with also the Valkyries. There's the Norns, which are the Sisters of Fate. Something called I cannot pronounce this one very well, but it's like a Freya, something like that. And this one's another supernatural being that accompanies a person to see their fate or fortune. Then there's the Haminga, which is a female spirit related to luck. which also relates to something like destiny and fate, because luck is like a big influencer in that. And then there's the Valkyries, which are the ones who carry out fallen soldiers and warriors into Valhalla to be chosen, which is related to their fate and their destiny. So there's 4 of these types of women, and these are also related to just the lady. And so I believe that Frigg, or Freya, died 3 times, but for the life of me I cannot remember where I saw that. And what's funny is that Odin also died 3 times, or at least he was horribly wounded. He was hanged by a tree, stabbed by a spear, and he was starved. So these 3 types of damage that he endured is what caused him to have his wisdom. And Freya, I believe she died similar ways. But here we have the lady of the house, Lisa. She gets beaten to death. Michelle was shot to death in her own house. And Mona later on is killed, or believed to be killed, in an elevator. And that's actually really important for her to be dead for this whole thing to work. But she didn't die, so that's why everything continued. It continued on into like a different kind of idea. So that's actually kind of cool that they connected it that way, but also kind of bad that they continued it to remove this meaning, this kind of symbolism, to continue it, you know? But all in all, there is the relation of the Norns to these 3 women, and Mona is the one who survives, quote unquote survives, because she's not supposed to survive in this one, but she is shown to survive in the second game. The 3 Norns, the 3 Sisters of Fate, end up getting killed in Max's presence. Not because of Max, but just because of the things going on around here. So even Fate doesn't have a way of surviving. Either that or just the lady doesn't have a way of surviving, in the same way that she didn't have a way of surviving during Ragnarok in Norse mythology. So this is a big connection here, who are supposed to be maidens. I don't know why the trio is guys, if that's the case. Maybe the trio are the ways that Odin dies, or in relation to how Odin dies, because that's another trinity. I'm sure Mona is the present, no future, no past. Oops, answer the phone.
Max Payne,
Talk to me.
Alfred Woden. You've got company. An armed helicopter just landed on the manor grounds. You must hurry.
The more the merrier.
Alright, so now we get a call from Odin, Alfred Woden, and he's like, hey, you got company, an armed helicopter just landed on the manor grounds, and you're like, a helicopter? Why every time you call me, something disastrous happens, you know, something I can't kill? But Max is like, alright, great, let's do it. Holding the Beretta. I love his face right here, the little scowl. There's Odin popping up again, as the man of wisdom, the magician, the wizard. Did I check this already? No? Okay.
Vince Mugnano.
Vince is stupid, he's trying to shotgun me from across the mansion. Ooh. 1920s flappers. Must be a reference to Prohibition and how crime families grew, back when women were nice and thick like they ate funnel cake for breakfast, and they bobbed their hair to say they were a rebel, with newspapers saying that they were a menace to society.
He didn't die?
Punchinello's trio was done for.
It's so hard to reload. What's that, Wednesday Addams? It's like an Asian girl.
Oh, it's an Asian girl.
You white guys and your Asian women. Ooh, what is that? Like a picture of Samuel Adams.
Outside my door. Hurry. He's coming for me. You gotta hurry. Please.
I could hear Punchinello on the phone begging for help. He should have been saying his goodbyes.
Ah, that's badass. So Puccinello, the devil, is in this office, and Max is like, alright, he's begging. He's on the run. He's suffering. And like, he should be saying his goodbyes, and then walks in. I love that. I love that pose. That's great. Oh man, look at that.
Punchinello was a pushover. The moment I stepped into the room, he folded like a deuce before a royal flush.
No, wait. I was just doing what I was told. I couldn't refuse. She's someone high up. Government, maybe. I don't know.
He was trying to buy more sand for his hourglass. I wasn't selling any.
That's great. Look at that face. That was perfectly posed. So he's like, Puccinello just gave up. He's like, I didn't even want to do this. I just was doing what I was told. She's some kind of government or corporation something. She might be working for a corporation, I'm not sure. And then Max is like, I don't give a shit about any of your excuses, but he is saying the truth. So like, somebody above him is controlling them. But look how calm he looks here. He's like, hello? Do I do you? And then when he says, buy more sand for his hourglass, he's saying like he's trying to buy time, but hourglass and sand is more like an old-fashioned way of doing it. And sand has a connection to things like Earth, things like the Sandman, dreams. So saying something like he was buying more sand for his hourglass is like he's just dreaming. He's just using an idealistic way of looking at things, hoping that I'm going to follow it. And that's great. I love the way of explaining it like that. It adds a lot more to the symbolism. Instead of just saying he was trying to buy more time. Buy more time is like a cliche. This is like, oof. It's like way above that.
No, I told him not to.
Almost died. Mother of Pearl. The Colt Commando is like a repeating sniper rifle. Oh god. Well, they killed Puccinello for me.
They took my job.
So something is above the devil. Something's beyond the devil. High above him. Something far more sinister and evil. And we're gonna meet that something pretty soon. Oh god.